We are ready to go. We are going.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Blackfriars production of Lo and Behold. At this time, we ask that you please turn off all cell phones and other electronic devices. We also ask that you please do not take any pictures during the play. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Lo and Behold.
I had no idea you'd written so much, Mr. Alcott. Why, there must be 25 or 30 plays and novels here.
38.
38. Well, here's an old friend. The Hydra-headed soul. I did a book for him in this one in college, and it might be a good time to ask you now, Mr. Alcott. Do you believe the soul has a life of its own after death?
If you don't mind, Mr. Wingate, could we postpone this discussion until after I have read my last will and testament? At the moment, I am much more interested in what you have written.
Sorry, sir. No, didn't know I was disturbing you. Mind if I smoke? Well, sir, does it meet with your approval?
Is there a law that says law has to be so colorless, Mr. Wingate? Isn't it a little incongruous that a writer of Milo should leave behind a will of such poverty-stricken prose?
Well, would you like Wingate, Myers, and Wingate to tackle it again for you? Be glad to.
No, you've taken a week of peace already. I might not be alive in another 3 weeks to sign it.
Don't like to hear you sound so despondent, Mr. Alcott.
But you are quite wrong. I am not despondent. I am impatient, as I have been all my life, with dullness, incompetence, and stupidity.
Oh, come now, Mr. Alcott. We didn't know you wanted your will to be entertaining. We just thought you wanted it to be legal.
And can you assure me that this will of mine is legally incontestable?
No. Anyone can contest a will. But we've protected you all down the line. That's why we've inserted the in usurps clause. If some remote relation were to show up, then the 10-note bequest will take care of it.
Well, since I have no blood ties this side of Adam, there's small likelihood of one being dug up.
If it meets your rule, sir, I can witness your signature now. You have a secondary witness?
Be so kind as to press that invention. That'll summon Mrs. Svensson, my housekeeper.
Yes, sir.
What about my sanity? Does this will make it subject to question?
Oh, yes, definitely.
But doesn't the Harvard request preclude such a possibility?
Let us hope so, sir.
Did you ring, sir?
Yes, but who are you?
I'm the new part-time maid, sir.
Where's Mrs. Svensson?
We hopping?
What in God's name is she doing in Weehawken?
Her daughter's having a baby. She hired me from the agency this morning.
What time will she be back?
Late tonight if the baby's on time.
This is very annoying. Well, come here.
Yes, sir.
I have a will here that I want witnessed. Will you be so kind as to act as a witness for me?
If you say, sir.
What is your name?
My real or my professional name?
Just what is your profession?
I'm a model. When things get tough, I take what I can get, but I'm a model.
We'll need the name you're born with. The one on your birth certificate?
I got no birth certificate.
Well, your mother certainly named you something.
Well, she did, but nobody knows it anymore. I changed it. The first part, at least.
And what was it?
Wisteria.
That's a lovely name.
Really? I couldn't get rid of it soon enough. When my mama died, I got sent to Happy Valley. That's an orphanage. And all those little stickers were always running up to me yelling, "Oh, Wisteria, let me smell you." When I got out of there, I changed it in a hurry to Daisy. I kept it a flower so my mama wouldn't turn over in her grave.
You can sign right here, sir. You attest this to be your last will and testament?
I do. Now, will you be so kind as to sign my will, please?
Who'd have thought this morning I'd be signing a will?
Now, if you just request my signature as well, sir.
I so request.
That's all, sir.
Your legal name is Wisteria Durdle?
Yeah, you recognize it?
No.
Well, my mama worked for you for 2 days.
She did.
Yeah, you fired her.
I did. Why?
Getting drunk.
Oh, I recall her now. She was one of my many housekeepers, and she drank constantly.
She wasn't happy.
But as I remember, I had the kindness of writing her a recommendation. And do you drink, Miss Durdle?
I should say not. Not after seeing what it did to my mom. Is that also
Yes, for the moment.
Wisteria? What a name to hang on.
It was undoubtedly a symbol of beauty to your mother.
And that's no lie. It was a brand of Applejack.
Well, that's all there is to it, sir. I say, I hope this document won't have to be executed for years to come.
Do you realize what you're wishing me?
Well, you mustn't give up hope, sir. It's destructive. I'm sure you have a lot to look forward to.
Well, the clock just struck noon. I have lunch to look forward to. Do you know what lunch will consist of?
Whatever's best for you, I'm sure of that.
I must choose between a bowl of milk and a piece of toast unbuttered, or a piece of toast buttered and a cup of tea unsweetened. Then, for dinner, I will have a glass of warm water and a teaspoon of lemon juice and a half cup of pablo. What will you be having for dinner, Mr. Wingate?
I don't think I should say, Mr. Alcott.
Why not?
Well, today happens to be my birthday, and the little lady makes up all my favorite foods. It's not something you say to someone who, well, I'd rather not.
I insist. I should like to put my stoicism to the test. What do you start with?
Well, since it's a special occasion, I start with oyster stew.
With oysters?
Naturally.
Not always. How many?
8 to 10.
Oysters. Shall I tell you when I last had an oyster?
Last year,
When was McKinley shot?
I don't remember.
What do you have after soup?
The lady makes a sort of scalloping with wine.
Marsala.
I believe that's it.
Veal marsala. Shall I tell you the last time I tasted veal marsala?
Recently, I hope.
When did Wilson say, "This is a war to end all wars"?
Which Wilson?
That's right, you're the junior Wingate. Do you have wine with dinner?
Tonight is Chateau again.
Chateau Yquem. I was sent a case by the Société d'Art after I won the Nobel Prize in Literature. That was in 1925 when you were on milk. Even then, my doctor warned me that I couldn't have one bottle of it because it would kill me.
That's really rough, sir. But you must remember, I don't feel like this all the time. It's a special occasion today.
Oh, I have special occasions.
That's good.
For instance, on Sundays, if my pulse has been steady, I'm allowed the white of a raw egg at body temperature, which is usually subnormal.
I'm really sorry, sir.
What do you have for dessert?
I don't think you can torture yourself, Mr. Alcott.
You're the one who's breaking up. I'm not. What does your little lady whip up for you? Baked Alaska.
Oh, nothing that elaborate.
Well, what? Come.
Lemon chiffon pie, and I am sorry.
As well you might be. Let this be a lesson to you. Never politely wish a man years of age unless you are omniscient enough to foresee what they hold. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to take my pill. The 80,452nd, to be exact.
Yes, sir. And might I say, I will not be enjoying dinner tonight.
Splendid.
Good day.
Would it disturb you if I was to dust in here now, sir? Mrs. Svensson said to dust in here if it wouldn't disturb you.
Yes, it would. I wish to be alone.
Yes, sir. Oh, Mrs. Svensson said you'd let me know if you got hungry. I don't suppose you've worked up an appetite yet.
Well, you're quite wrong. I have an appetite of 40 years standing.
Well, why didn't you say you was hungry? I'll fix you some lunch. What do you like?
Didn't Mrs. Benson instruct you on what to prepare?
No. She said you usually decide what you want yourself.
That was all she said.
She was in a hurry. You'd have thought she was the one having the baby.
Wisteria, come here.
Daisy.
Can you cook?
Yes, sir. I guess it's about the only thing I do really good.
Then go to the kitchen, Daisy Durdle. Search the Frigidaire, the pantry, and the storeroom. Bring me everything that you can find that is edible.
Tea or coffee?
Neither. You will find in the basement, I hope, an ancient case of wine. If you do, serve a bottle with my lunch.
You celebrating something?
The liberation of the spirit. That will be my doctor. Let him in, but do not bring my tray out here until after he has left.
You're the boss.
Hello, Milo. I see you have yourself a new maid.
Well, you're wrong. She isn't a maid at all. She happens to be a model.
What possible use can you have for a model?
Never mind the girl. Sit down. I thought the hospital would get the message wrong. I didn't want to disturb you if you were busy.
It's quite all right. I just had to make an incision. So I'll hold it open until I get back.
You don't have much time for research, do you?
In a couple of years, I'll take a vacation, so I can work.
Be jealous of your time and your intellect, Robert. You are destined to making important contributions to your profession.
I wish I shared your conviction.
There is only one thing that could hinder you.
I know what you're going to say. Marriage. And I know what you're going to quote. He who hath given a wife and children hath given hostages to fortune.
Don't delete the rest, for they are impediments to great enterprise. Just remember that marriage can furnish you with nothing that can't be acquired on the open market with far less strain on your emotional and financial resources.
Milo, I was raised on your philosophy, so I doubt that you had me over to recite it for you. Now, why did you call?
You are rude. It is one of your redeeming qualities. I called you here to discuss my will.
Why are you suddenly concerned with the will?
One is concerned with leaving a will when the will to live is lost.
It shocks me to hear you speak this way. Ever since I've known you, ever since my father took care of you before myself, you've never seemed to be grim or disconsolate.
Oh yes, I have a great kinsmanship with Prometheus, chained to his rock with vultures, tearing at his viscera. But after 40 years of it, I have a rather normal impulse to say, this is going too far. Let's not overdo it.
Well, I don't blame you. You're a remarkable man, Milo.
Do you think I'm a sane one?
Certainly. Why?
Because this will of mine might make you think otherwise.
Just what's in this will of yours?
First, I think you'd be interested to know that I have named you my executor.
Certainly. Glad that you warned me.
And I have left you 1/3 of my estate.
You... what?
Don't you want it?
Well, certainly. But you've always said a man should be content with his income and not willing to take what he hasn't earned.
To whom shall I give it then? Strangers?
At least to somebody that needs it more than I do.
Why can't you take this money and establish a medical laboratory?
That makes sense.
Of course it does. Buy some guinea pigs. Now, on for the rest of the will. $250,000 to Harvard Law School.
But you never went to Harvard.
I should like to know that if my will is ever contested, I'll have all those Harvard lawyers fighting on my side.
There's nothing wrong in your thinking.
This next one might make you change your mind.
What is it?
The rest of my estate is to be left in perpetuity. It shall never be lived in or destroyed.
You want a memorial?
I have no such absurd vanity. If there is an existence after death and I am granted the preference, I simply want to remain here.
So, You want to haunt your own house.
If you care to put it that way. Certainly I don't want to reside in heaven. According to the best authorities on the subject, it is a place devoid of that divine gift. Privacy.
Well, angels have a fairly good reputation.
I am quite serious, Robert. Can I depend on you to carry out my instructions?
Oh, certainly, Milo. Your instructions will be carried out here on Earth. The windows will be boarded up. The doors will be locked for eternity. My only regret is that I won't know if you're enjoying your privacy.
I was coming to that. As a man of science, I think you'd be interested in conducting a controlled experiment. I will arrange now to contact you.
Thank you. No. Look, Milo, I don't want to go throughout life wondering if every noise in the night or tap on the window is really you.
Do you think I would descend to such inconclusive nonsense as tapping on tables? I said controlled experiment. I suggest a code word known only to the two of us, and at the prearranged time and place, I will establish my presence here.
Why do you want to do this?
My intellectual curiosity has never been limited to my body.
You've caused enough trouble here on Earth, Milo. Why don't you leave the hereafter alone? Besides, I don't believe in miracles.
Penicillin would have been considered a miracle 100 years ago. I offer myself as an astral guinea pig.
How would you proceed?
On the first Friday, on every month, at midnight, in this room, I will use my code words as proof of my presence, and I will establish my presence here, and a clear, modulated tone of voice.
And what will you say? Something like Tempest Fugit? Or something patriotic like God Bless America?
Belittling with ridicule is my province, Robert. Stick to medicine. Now, do you know what usually heralds a miracle?
Thunder.
No. That lovely imperative. Lo and behold.
Just lo and behold.
No need to wax verbose. Simply lo and behold. Now, will you do it?
I think it's fair to say that I have no confidence of this little adventure of yours to work.
We shall see. We shall see. Now, to celebrate this pregnant occasion, how about allowing me the yolk of an egg instead of the white?
I'll give you 2 reasons. First, I have to see a pregnant woman in the hospital in 10 minutes. And second, I don't want to see you in a hospital in 10 minutes. Any further requests?
None at the moment. Oh, I should like to warn you, Robert, that if you renounce this pact, I will spend eternity haunting you.
Milo, I can guarantee my presence here every month, but lo and behold, can you? Goodbye.
Goodbye, Robert. Yes.
I thought you'd never go.
And what have you brought me?
Oh, everything but the kitchen stove. Now, you seem hungry and in a hurry, so I'm eating leftovers mostly. Look it, I'll make a rabbit here.
Why, it's Le Colin.
Oh no, it's a real rabbit. Welsh rabbit. I found it in the pantry and thought it might taste good, heat it up, and pour it over a slice of ham and an English muffin. And that's a poached egg on top.
An egg? That is inspired.
It's a gift I got, cooking. Now that there's some steak and chili sauce in case you didn't like the rabbit.
I shall eat both.
Now I fried you a potato and butter because I thought fat might upset you. And that there is cucumbers and sour cream. Sour cream's very healthy.
Well, you weren't at all generous with it.
Really? I thought it was enough to choke a horse. Now, I'll put a hunk of cheese on your apple pie. Now, do you think that's too much cheese? Grandpa's mostly cheese, you know.
Ah, you found it, you can.
I hope so you mind. Now, if you want anything else, just yell.
Just a moment. I should like you to remain here.
What'll I do? Dust?
Just to remain present. That is all.
Is that you?
Yes, but considerably younger.
Imagine having to bust of yourself while you're still alive.
You consider it amusing?
Oh no, it's just, you've got dust in your eyes.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
So, you are a model, are you?
Models are a dime a dozen. I've had one job in 8 months.
Is it discreet for me to ask what sort of modeling you do?
Photographs mostly, ads for clothes. You want to see a picture of me?
Where would I find one?
Page 1428 of the Summer Sears Roebuck Catalog.
I don't think I have a copy.
In a virgin wool worsted coat. No head.
No head?
It don't seem right, does it? You pose for a photo, and when they print it, they cut your head off.
Which would seem to place you in distinguished company. Marie Antoinette, Mary Stuart, on back to John the Baptist.
Well, when I couldn't get another job, it was on back to the 5 and 10. You can't eat a catalog.
An hour ago, I might have attempted it.
I just hated taking that dirty job out. You know, all day long I sit with a towel wrapped around my neck while that damn demonstrator slaps me in the face with a mud pack.
And couldn't you alternate and slap the demonstrator for a while?
No, I always seem to get the dirty end. And to think of when I started, I was gonna slay New York. Oh, I bet I'm boring the pants off you.
I fail to see any connection, but do continue.
I was gonna be somebody famous, an actress or a singer or somebody, but nobody would give me a chance. Nobody. People are mean.
Not at all. One should never presume to a career for which one is not qualified. No one profits. History will bear me out. And as for your particular ambition, might I suggest the only career for which you are, if I may say so, ideally equipped?
What's that?
Marriage.
You think I don't want to get married? I want to get married like crazy and have kids. But I ain't have no kids without no father. My mama learned me a lesson. Do you have any children?
38.
No, you don't understand. I said, do you have any children?
I understood, and I said 38.
Then where are they? These are books.
38 are my intellectual offspring, and I assure you that I fathered each with a great deal more care for character and posterity than most parents.
You just live with books.
There are no better companions.
Well, everybody to his own taste, said the woman who kissed the cow. Me, I want to get married and kiss my husband.
Well, then fulfill your function and find a husband. It's as simple as that.
Where?
Surely young men are attracted to you. You must have had at least one proposal.
Dozens. None with a marriage license.
What sort of men do you meet?
Well, last year I met this musician named Al Taylor. You might have heard of him. He's famous.
I don't recall the name.
He wrote a song that got published called Hey May, What Do You Say?
I doubt if I've heard of it.
You might have. The lyrics go, you're my Mayday, you're my payday, you're my 4th of July, bang!
I am positive I have never heard it.
Well, anyhow, come to find it out, he had a wife.
Well, surely not all the men you meet are married.
You know what? They are. I began to think women are just standing outside of high schools waiting to grab them as they graduate.
And you found no one eligible?
Nope. Same truck keeps hitting me. Next was Jacques McDougal. Same story.
He was married also?
Before he could shave. Gee, I almost fell for him. He was in investments.
A banker?
You might say that. He had 2 or 3 places where he took bets on horses. You might call him a bookie, but he did not like to be called a bookie.
Fastidious.
What's fastidious?
A man who insists on such a neat distinction.
Oh, he was neat, all right. He bathed 3 times a day. He always smelled of pine soap.
Mr. Freud would have said that his cleansing compulsion is allied with a sense of guilt.
Well, I don't know Mr. Freud, but I'll tell you what I said. I said, Mac, you gotta stop eating so much. It ain't healthy, I said. You gotta stop washing all the vitamins out of your skin, I says.
What did he say to that?
shut up. He was very sarcastic, and you can't live with a sarcastic man, especially if he's neat.
I can understand your cynicism.
But give the devil his due, he was always wonderful to his mother.
No.
You ever noticed how heels are just wonderful to their mothers?
In the mother's aspect, it compensates for spawning a heel.
Well, anyhow, one day I made a casual remark about marriage, and he says he's got a wife somewhere. Now that's when I got sarcastic. I said, Mac, I don't ever want to see you again. You can just go and nothing's going to refrain you. In fact, I don't even want to see which way you went. I washed my hands of him with his very soap.
No.
Bravo.
He was the last straw. When I went back to work at the 510, I couldn't take it anymore. I threw in the towel and I said to that damn demonstrator, you gotta stop slapping my face, I said. I don't have to take it and I'm not going to. I walked right out. I didn't even get my pay. It's just the way I am.
Surely you did not walk out of there with all that mud on your face.
Want to know where I went?
Home to wash it off, I would hope.
I wouldn't dignify that rat hole I rent by calling it a home. I walked straight to the river.
Surely there was water closer.
I wasn't going to wash. I was going to die. I didn't care. I didn't want to live.
You were going to jump in the river?
You want to know what refrained me?
Some atavistic fear?
A cop. On top of everything else, I get thrown in the clink with all those crummy people. I tell you what, as long as I live, I'm going to give the law a wide berth, believe me, because cops treat you like dirt. Now all I want is a chance to work and save some money and hope to bejesus I meet a nice guy who thinks I'm pretty nice myself.
And if you do, Daisy, might I offer you a bit of advice?
Why not?
Do not handicap yourself with a hypocritical code of honor. If it will enhance your chances to succeed, to lie, deceive, or mislead, just remember that deception is a law of nature, and it will sanction any stratagem to propagate the species.
But there's such a thing as right and wrong.
I'm delighted you have come to that conclusion. The next step is realizing what is right for you could be wrong for someone else. And conversely, what is wrong for someone else could be quite right for you. It is the only way by which you can live comfortably with conscience.
So something wrong could be right for me.
Yes.
And if it's right for me, then it isn't wrong.
Unless you fail, then failure becomes its own hangman.
I was never taught that. Suppose you fall in love and lie to get a husband.
If you do, and you're caught, surely the law will not denounce you for your duplicity, because obviously your husband is the one guilty of evoking this overwhelming passion. And as for your husband, surely he won't, since no man wishes to belittle his own irresistibility. Go over to that bookshelf. You will find there a collection of essays under the title, Facts and Fallacies of Celibacy.
Facts and fallacies of what?
Facts and Fallacies of Celibacy.
Ah, here it is. Did you know there's a gun in here?
Yes, but leave the gun there and bring the book here. Now, in this collection you will find an expose on the marriage bed and what social workers refer to rather crisply as functional relationship. I commend it to your reading.
You mean I can have it?
Now remember, this is a child of mine. Do not neglect it.
Gee, no one's ever given me a book before. Would you write something in it?
I should like you to think of this as a step up from soap.
Thanks a million, sir. I thought. Say, now I'm kind of a collector. I've got this and an autographed copy of Hangman. What do you say?
Good God. Time for the apple pie.
How is it?
Celestial.
You know, I'm partial to apples. Did you know you can trust an apple?
Trust?
Well, I trust them. I use them as a test.
What sort of test?
Well, if I'm going steady with some feller, I give him an apple and I watch him eat it. And if I like watching him eat it, I'll know I'll like anything else he does. But if I can't stand watching him eat, I'll know I could never live with him.
A most unscientific approach, it would seem to me.
That's just the way I am. With some girls, it's the way a fellow looks in his swimming trunks or a
And did your musician and the broker pass the sample test?
They fell flat on their faces. I guess fate was my friend after all. You gotta believe in something.
Indeed. Well, we seem to have come to the end.
You ate every scrap.
And savored every mouthful.
How do you feel?
The miraculous thing is that I have never felt better.
Well, food will pick you up every time. Would you like another slice of apple pie?
Oh no, we will save that for tonight. Why? I've been a fool. All of my life I have advocated skepticism, and half of my life I have accepted the opinion of my doctor with blind faith.
I don't get it.
Do you know what I am?
Full, I hope.
I am a living refutation to medical hypothesis. I am invincible.
Gee, you really feel good, don't you?
I'm 20 again. I'm indebted to you, and I dislike being under obligation. I wish to discharge this debt at once.
Gee, $100? What did I do?
You have freed me from the albatross.
I don't understand. You already gave me a book.
Question everything in life, child, but money.
Shall I tell Miss Svensson you already paid me?
Oh no, this is extra. Keep it a secret. Would you like to work for me, Miss Durdle?
Oh, I wouldn't want poor Mrs. Svensson out of a job.
Oh no, you wouldn't. You would be my personal cook.
Well, I just love to cook.
Well, give this note to Mrs. Svensson then.
Gee, thanks a million, Mr. Alcott. I'll clear all this away for you.
Tonight, I should like oyster stew, scallopine, and lemon chiffon pie.
I'll order it right away, sir. Mr. Alcott? Mr. Alcott, is everything all right? Mr. Alcott?
I owe a cock to Esculapius.
Mr. Alcott? Oh, Mr. Alcott? Mr. Alcott? Try to breathe. Mr. Alcott? Mr. Alcott? Hello? Get me Weehawken 9009. It's a vital emergency of life and death. Hello? Mrs. Svensson? You gotta come home quick. Something's happened to Mr. Alcott. Well, I don't know. He was eating his big lunch and talking away when... Well, no, I gave him what he wanted. Some steak and potatoes and wine and no, I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him. Mr. Alcott, please don't be dead. They'll throw me in the clink for sure. Mr. Alcott? Mr. Alcott!
Well, my friend, we seem to part ways here. And with no regrets. There was always a kink in your back and an ache in your side. Your feet were forever cold and your head was forever hot. Your legs were numb and your nerves were shot. You were born in pain and you died in pain. And that, my friend, is that. I'm sorry, but there's no way home.
Oh, hello.
How did you get in here?
That way.
Who are you?
Minnetonka's Smallflower, but my friends call me Minnie.
Can you possibly be a figment of my imagination?
Yeah.
I do not know.
And why not?
Because I do not know what a figment is.
Yeah.
May I ask where you came from?
Loversleep, you might have heard of me.
Oh, yes. There's some legend about an Indian maiden who leaped to her death when her lover was killed, as I believe.
Some legend. I was pushed.
Indeed. How did you get here?
On the wind.
May I ask the purpose of your visit?
Well, I heard this was a good place for ghosts with no place to haunt.
And may I ask the source of that information?
I was talking to an owl in the park last night.
You were directed here by an owl?
Yes, the one that lives in your attic. Don't you know her?
I did not know there was an owl up there, much less a female owl.
Well, she is not very friendly, but she did say this was a good place to stay, so I packed up and here I am.
I'm sorry, but you made a needless trip. You'll have to take the next wind back.
Yeah.
Why?
This house is for my personal use, exclusively.
You're new dead, aren't you?
What has that to do with you?
Yeah.
Don't you know you haven't any person?
That is no reason to assume that I haven't any rights. Simply, I don't want you here.
Something wrong with me?
Oh no, I bet you're nothing but quite charming to a mohawk.
I'm no dirty mohawk.
Yeah.
I'm a Ramapo.
Indeed, well I'm not either. I say you go back to Loversley.
I can't.
And why not?
The Port Authority is building a new bridge there. They blasted me out over 3 months ago.
Well, you certainly cannot stay here.
I've decided I like it here. I'm tired of looking for a new home.
What are you doing?
Just unpacking a few things I was buried with. Do you like tom-toms?
Will you stop unpacking your possessions in my house?
No girl should ever be without one.
Get up off of that floor.
Why?
It's uncivilized.
Half the world sits on the floor, and I've been meaning to finish this basket for over 50 years.
Pack that rubbish immediately. I'll just give you 15 seconds to get back up
I
that
will just
chimney.
camp out over here out of everyone's way. I love a fireplace. I can practice smoke signals.
Oh, we'll see about that. I'll just telephone.
How do you do?
Hello.
Are you an authority here?
I am in charge of this blanket.
I'm looking for a place to stay.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know who you are, but if you're entertaining any thought that you can stay here.
Piano. What wonderful good fortune.
You play?
I'm a composer.
Oh, compose something.
Just a moment. I am the master of this house.
Allow me to compliment you.
And may I ask who you are?
People call me the mad musician of Mount Ivy.
Oh, I've heard of you. You cut your throat and died on your keyboard. Now you go around houses at midnight scaring people by playing on their pianos.
No, that's not true. I'm not mad and I didn't cut my throat. I died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
Now it is true that I do search for a piano to finish my composition, but the rest is pure fiction.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to find your piano someplace else. I have lived here alone all my life, and I intend to pursue my eternity as I spent my
But it
life.
isn't simple. Everywhere I search, there are no more pianos. This is the first one I found in 10 years.
Would you like to know how long it has been since I've seen a buffalo?
It's out of tune anyhow.
One by one, all the pianos have disappeared.
It is the story of our whole tribe. We only have one damn Ramapo left. He is a soda jerk.
I'm not saying that your situation isn't deplorable, but I am saying that it is one that I did not create, and one for which I refuse to be penalized.
Oh, an old Indian custom, passing the buck.
My work isn't finished.
I've set up camp and I'm staying for good.
I'm afraid you're going to have to endure me a while. There's no place else for me to go. If it weren't for the piano.
Hey, you are?
You can't stay.
That's no way to greet a lady. Mind your manners.
And may I ask where you came from?
Lost Lake? I'm the sad lady of the Lost Lake.
And were you listening to the trees or talking to an owl?
I don't like your tone. What's the matter with this man?
He doesn't want any of us here.
Why not?
He wants to hog the whole house for himself.
I simply want to be left in peace. Is that too much to expect?
Nobody's gonna bother you, sugar. Stop your fussing. This is just the kind of mansion I've been looking for. I'm Honey Child Wainwright, formerly of Lost Lake.
I'm Kenneth Moore. How do you do?
Might have tried to make your acquaintance, Ken.
And this is... I don't know your name.
Minnetonka Smallflower.
Oh, what a simply put-upon name!
Thanks, only it don't fit now. I grew like a weed.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Sugar, are you colored?
Yes, I am a redskin, pale skin.
Oh, don't you rile me, sugar. I'm a liberal. I'm so liberal, everybody in the South just hates me. Everybody who is anybody.
I'm sure she misunderstood.
Heavens to Betsy, I'm no bigot. I just love the poor folks, and they love me. I'm always giving them my old clothes and things. I have.
Miss Wainwright, was it your intention to take up residence in this house?
But of course, sugar. I've been turned out of my own mansion. Bag of baggage.
Where was your mansion, Miss Wainwright?
Oh, call me honey, sugar.
What is a mansion?
My country home on the Hudson. I married a Yankee.
Well, go back.
I can't.
And why not?
It was empty for 30 years and the damn Russian embassy bought it for a summer home.
Do all of you intend to remain here, regardless of how I feel about the matter?
I
You can't ride around this big old house like a little pea in a big old pot.
And I have to stay.
There must be some court to which I can appeal. I took every possible precaution.
So, what about this lost lake? Who lost?
Oh, that's where my mansion is, up the River of Peace. And that's where I was shot on my wedding day. By the way.
By the grill.
Oh, don't you be an old stick in the mud. Of course it wasn't my baby. I was shot by that wild Maxwell boy because I threw him over. Do you know that Pat came all the way from Louisiana just to shoot me?
I should have gone to the ends of the earth.
Oh, thank you, sugar.
Let's all come over here and get acquainted.
Bless you, Ken.
Wouldn't you prefer to sit in a chair?
I'd like it if you sit in a chair, sugar. I don't like to talk down to nobody.
Are you going to snatch it away if I get off balance?
I promise I won't.
We've been made promises before. Always end up on our reservations.
Well, you can trust me.
Not bad, like squatting in a buck slap.
You told you, now you're civilized.
What happened at the Lost Lake that you had to leave?
Oh, those damn Russians. First I thought I could just go right on living there. It was my home. So, come one night I started moaning and groaning as usual.
Do you intend to pursue your moaning and groaning in this house?
Sugar, I still got pain here. That lame bad would shoot me through the heart one day, and he did. A perfect bullseye. Southern boys can hit that at 50 feet, that's a fact.
Indian boys can hit the tail of a titmouse, and that is a lie as well.
I think you'd be one of us.
Thank you, no. I never fraternized with you in life. I see no reason why I should fraternize with you now.
Does fraternize mean what I think it means?
It means consorting with Yankees, sugar.
I think it means something else.
The world's illustrious dead. Why was I sent to you? If I must share my home, why wasn't I sent to Aristotle or St. Thomas Aquinas, at worst to Judas Iscariot? But no, I must endure a shoddy Chopin, a southern magpie, and a moronic mohawk.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm no dirty mohawk?
Someone's come into the house.
Through a door. It can't be one of us.
I know who it is. It's my doctor.
Alive?
But of course, we are meeting at midnight.
What's it coming here for, sugar?
We have an appointment. We will talk to each other.
Ah, the man's a stark-raving man.
It's good to see you, Robert.
Yeah.
After all the events, I'd almost forgotten this was our night.
He has a good face.
He has good hips.
He's a gentleman. I can always tell a gentleman by his fingernails.
You've come just in time, Robert. It's almost midnight. I'll have some amazing things to tell you. I've been invaded.
I'll never hear you.
And if he does, he won't believe you.
Oh, he'll believe me, because I had the foresight of giving him some words that he alone will recognize.
What?
That is between us alone. Now, if you'll all have the courtesy to be quiet, the clock is about to strike midnight.
I just know I'll giggle.
It's bad medicine if you ask me.
Be quiet! Stop it, you fools. You will not believe in any tapping on tables.
That is not us.
I thought it was hard.
It's coming from the window.
They're pulling the boards off. They're trying to break in.
A burglar! Oh, it makes it hard! My old grandmother was raised by a burglar!
Talk about it later.
So, it's you. You wretched girl. Now you've spoiled our experiment. What are you doing here?
What are you doing? Not so fast! What have you got there?
Let go of me.
Now that I know what you're doing here. I remember you. You're the girl the police have been looking for.
Please don't call the police. Please don't.
Why did you disappear?
I was afraid they'd arrest me.
What'd you come back for? To steal something?
No, I only came back to get what's mine. There's a check inside this book, and I wouldn't have come except I'm hungry and I need the money.
What are you doing with a check signed by Milo?
He gave it to me.
Why?
He wanted me to have it.
Why would Milo want you to have $100? I don't understand. This instructs Mrs. Swinton to set up a room for you.
He asked me to stay. Now please, give me my book and let me go.
How do I know this is your book?
He wrote it for me before he...
Something's mysterious about all this.
My God. Milo. Of all people.
What do you mean, Milo, of all people?
What does it say?
I do not know. I can only read grandmother.
It says, "This is my child."
Why didn't you tell me Milo was your father?
Huh?
So you don't fraternize?
That inscription refers to my intellectual children. Robert, this is a misunderstanding. Get her to explain.
Have you spoken to a lawyer?
No.
When did your mother stay with Milo?
She worked for him before I was born.
For how long?
2 days. Oh, time to spare.
She had many housekeepers, and she was constantly drunk. But I had the kindness of writing her a recommendation for her next job.
That's what I call blatant.
Yeah. What's your name?
Daisy. Well, my mother called me Wisteria.
Just like the wisteria over the kitchen arbor. It all makes sense. I remember when I first saw you, Milo was reluctant to mention it. Did you know you were his daughter at that time?
No, sir.
Oh, how did he find out?
Well, when I wrote my name on his will, he recognized it.
What did he say?
He gave me a check, and he told me to keep it a secret.
It's outrageous!
It's incredible!
My advice was to take advantage of other people, you snake, not of me!
Well, it's getting late. We should probably get you home.
I haven't got a home.
Where have you been staying?
All night movies.
Oh, poor child. Those terrible pictures.
Well, if I were married, it would be simple.
You're not married.
Yeah. sure you're all right staying here by yourself?
Oh, I'm sure. Because it is finally right. And what's for me can't be wrong. You said it yourself, Papa.
You composing?
Yes, my concerto for piano and orchestra.
Where's the orchestra?
In here.
You know Swanee River?
No.
Yankee? Hi, legs. I rinsed out a few of my unmentionables and hung them in your garden dry. Hope you don't mind. Oh, stupid bug. Where's Daisy?
She went shopping.
What for?
The doctor found he was coming over, so she hurried out to buy herself a new dress.
I wish somebody would have told me. I'd have gone with her. What you doing there, Shannon?
Considering diabolical methods of ridding my house of you and that imposter.
Aren't you ashamed? Hello, Minnie.
So that's where you were, out doing your washing?
Oh, sugar, southern ladies never wash. We rinse out a few things here and there, but we don't wash. That'd be taking work away from others, and that ain't right. And it ain't liberal.
And it ain't no fun, sugar.
You're so clever with your hands. What are you gonna do with that little basket when it's finished?
Collect buffalo dung.
Sorry to ask.
I thought I could fertilize some ground out back and raise popcorn for the winter. You can help.
Oh, sugar, I wouldn't be any good. I'm so helpless. My mother always said, I'll never have to do a thing for yourself, honey child. You got the better gift of beauty.
Thank you.
We had a separate servant, ball, everything. Wow, we had one girl that didn't do a thing the whole blessed day with swat flies.
Where did you live, Afar?
We lived on a plantation and never lifted a finger. My grandmother never combed her own hair until after the Civil War.
I have not combed mine since the Battle of Bull Run.
Well, we should have more God here, crown of glory.
Got a new dress.
Turkey red, that is for me.
She looks like a fire engine.
Sorry, talk about your own flesh and blood.
She is not my flesh and blood.
What is she making? Rain?
Magnolia.
Woolworths.
Reckon I got a cold in my poor head.
Give me a charm that jingles every time.
Jingle, jingle, she's setting her cap for that doctor man.
If that wretched girl thinks Robert will be beguiled by such obvious devices, she is wasting her time and my money. He will see through her. I spent too many years sowing the seeds of distrust in his mind to doubt that.
What is she doing? She is making the wrong medicine. The only way to cast a spell on a bug is to pick some bird in the full of the moon and tie it underneath your dress. Then you must rub yourself all over with plain impossible.
No wonder you're
I was too weak a fever, I did not let the clay dry. What is that?
I don't know what the damn Yankee name is. I call it Bobby Bow.
Oh, it is no good. She should rub her hair with a few fireflies.
Sugar, you're making me death.
I have never encountered such a brazen fraud.
Most parents try to protect their children.
Even birds.
That's God's truth. Many of the times I watched the Papa Peavy feed his children nothing but butterflies and sugar bugs the whole day long. Now that's true devotion.
I would be delighted to feed that girl vast quantities of sugar bugs, if I knew where to find them.
You can't, sugar. They southern bugs.
I've been reading one of Papa's books.
One finger is as deep as she ever got into anything.
That's a good way to get acquainted with. Which one are you reading?
She hasn't even read the title yet.
This one.
Morals for Morons. What do you think?
What do I think of it?
Do you agree?
Do I agree?
This could go on indefinitely.
I called earlier, but there was no answer.
Oh, I was out shopping with the money you gave me. Do you like it?
Do I like it? Where did you get it?
A place on Union Square. I know a girl that works in the shop room, and she held it out for me.
Why didn't you shop on Fifth Avenue?
And get robbed? You're paying for rent up there.
I don't think so. It's possible you could have done better.
Oh, I couldn't have done better. This was marked down to $8.98 from $19, and you can't do better than that.
No, you certainly can't. Not on Fifth.
You think it's crummy?
No, Daisy, not at all. It's the kind of dress that would make me look twice.
I'm glad you like it, because I know you know it's good.
And the best is none too good for the daughter of Milo. I came here to discuss his will. Do you have a few minutes?
I got all the time you want.
Could we sit down?
Oh, sure, of course. Excuse me.
Now, I'd like to return the recommendation letter that Milo wrote for your mother. Thank you for trusting me with it.
It was lucky I had it.
Now, the handwriting is definitely Milo's. The date that your mother worked for him coincides.
Do not be tactful on my account.
I didn't know you were going to check on me.
I wasn't exactly checking on it, Daisy. It's just I'm Milo's executive, so I have to be exact. I'm just glad that Milo did you a great injustice.
The injustice is done me, not her.
The first thing I must know is do you plan on contesting his will?
How do you mean?
Bring your claims to court.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to cause anybody any trouble. Would you like an apple?
No, thank you. I made a few inquiries about the feasibility of contesting. Would you take my advice?
Take an apple. I've got plenty.
Burn it, Robert. It is even all her treachery again.
No, thank you. Now, if you do contest the will, your chances of winning the case would be, I'm sorry to say, remote.
Why is she so persistent about the apple?
She relies on an apple as an infallible test of their compatibility.
Don't you like apples?
Yes, I like them.
Then take one.
For this time, God's sake, take an apple.
All right.
Beware, Robert. Her Remember the apple of Sodom. Remember the apple of discord and the Juno's wrath.
Remember the Appalachians and the Ramapos.
Yes, I'll leave it. Now, if you can test the will and lose the case, all you're going to get from the battery of the Harvard lawyers is about $10.
You really were an old stick in the mud.
But I have a much better solution. Would you like to hear it?
I want to see you eat your apple.
I would. You see, Milo left me 1/3 of his estate. Do you believe that's what you're entitled to?
I object. There is no earthly reason why you go.
Shut up, mud in the face.
I don't want to take anything away from you.
I assure you, I wasn't going to use it for myself.
Well, in that case, I might take $20 more.
You're entitled to as much as you need. You mustn't feel the need to economize. That's the way Milo would want it.
I would not.
Should I set up a bank account for you?
Oh no, banks scare me. I'm afraid of them. Why don't you keep it and just give me some cash now and again?
If you'll trust me. How about I leave 100 with you now until I get back from the bank? Now, what are your plans for the future?
You peel an apple?
Usually.
Well, you must be fastidious.
What is fastidious?
Squeamish, sugar.
I guess doctors are habitually cautious. Now, what are your plans for the future? Do you want to stay here?
I guess. It's not costing anything.
What room have you taken?
The man's.
Why have you been sleeping in Milo's old room?
You keep that girl out of my bed, Robert.
You weren't so fastidious about her mother.
Oh, not at all. It's easily the most comfortable. Have you hired a housekeeper yet?
Oh no.
Why not?
Well, I'm real good at keeping house myself. It gives me something to do.
We can easily bring back Mrs. Svensson back.
Your apple's gonna dry out.
You're right. Is that your front doorbell?
I didn't hear anything. Finish your apple.
I could have sworn I heard your door.
Oh no, the old house is full of noises.
Eat the apple.
You might want me to see you at the door.
Oh no, I'll go get it. Wait here. You seen anything special?
Simply a man eating an apple.
Maybe the moon isn't just right.
That sure would stop thundering and lightning.
Well, as we say in the Ramapos.
What's that, voodoo?
No, Indian sign language.
What does it mean?
Well, one man's jerky, another man's turkey.
What's jerky?
Dried deer meat.
And how would you express such an abstraction as being impaled on the horns of a dilemma?
Oh, well, that depends. How many horns does a dilemma got?
Actually, none.
Oh, no horns, no sign.
Just what I thought. Your language never developed beyond the most primitive symbols.
You know what he is?
Explain it, sugar.
Underhanded, forked tongue of a snake. That means lie.
Now there's language I could learn like falling off a log. You ate your apple.
Didn't you want me to?
Well, yes, but have another.
I don't think I could.
How about you introducing me, Daisy?
Excuse me. Dr. Robert Dorsey, shake hands with Jacques McDougal.
How are you, Doc?
Pleased to meet you.
Mr. McDougal is a former acquaintance that I used to know.
Well, you two must be very happy to see each other.
Yeah.
I sort of lost track of Daisy for some time, wondering where she was at. Imagine my surprise this morning, finding a note from her.
I asked you to phone first. I didn't expect you to come over.
Are you interrupting something?
Not at all. I was actually on the point of leaving.
You're not going to go, are you?
I'm afraid I must.
Well, what time do you get off from the hospital?
Usually late.
Well, you gotta eat, don't you? Why don't you come back here? I'll cook dinner for you.
I don't think I could tonight.
Excuse me, what about tomorrow night? I could cook dinner for you tomorrow night. I have some more questions.
How about I call you?
All right, you got the number? I'll write it down.
I have it. Goodbye.
Have the kindness to take your hat out of my face, sir.
Who is he?
He is either a cheap racketeer who bathes 3 times a day, or a musician who gave the world, "Hey man, what was that you said?"
Spitting image of that wild Maxwell boy that shot me.
He is the spitting image of the buck that shoved me over the cliff.
I would have burned this house to the ground had I known the type of humanity that would invade it. There is an ashtray right beside you.
What a place.
Why didn't you phone first?
Well, I couldn't wait. The minute I got your note, I came right over.
Well, you're here now.
It's been a long time, Daisy. This way to work.
I live here.
I get it.
You don't get nothing of the sort. It just so happens that this house happens to belong to me.
Yeah, I suppose you won it on a radio show.
I inherited it.
Who you fooling?
Everyone.
No one. I'm an heiress, and if you can't accept that, then that's your business.
Well, what about the joker that just left?
He's not a joker. He's a highly respected doctor.
Oh, did ya break a leg?
He is an old family friend and my personal business manager, and I would appreciate it if you would take your feet off of my furniture.
I appreciate your taking your hat out of my face.
Well, excuse me, ma'am. I thought you wanted to see me.
I called you for strictly business reasons. Strictly.
I don't get it.
Do you still make investments?
You called me here to place a bet.
What else? I got $100 I want to place on a horse.
What's your nag?
Any horse that'll get me $150 back. That's all I ask.
You expect me to pick the winner for you?
You can take my business, Mr. McDougal, or you can leave it.
Platypus on the pit, on the nose, 2 will get you 6.
Now what language are we speaking?
That's horse talk, sugar.
150 for 100 will cover everything. And you can let me know by phone.
The new faith. Something for nothing.
Just like that.
I believe our conversation is concluded, Mr. McDougal.
I can take a hint. I just want to look at you. You look like $1 million.
It's a new dress.
You got class. Would you like to know where I've been to that song, princess?
If you'll recall the last time we spoke, I said I had no wish to see which way you went at the time.
Well, in case you're in for a good night, I went all the way to old Mexico just so I could come back here and tell the most wonderful girl in the world I was free.
What do you mean?
I got a divorce.
On account of me?
Yes.
Mac, you shouldn't have. I would never break up a family. Mac, you shouldn't have.
Forget about it. You're taken care of now, and it could have happened to a nicer kid. Of course, my mom would be heartbroken. She really loved you. All the luck to you, Daisy.
Example 1 in nauseous nobility.
Wait, Mac. You've really been hurt, ain't you?
Don't you hear me whimpering?
I don't like that I should make anybody unhappy.
Example 2.
Would you be quiet? I'm interested.
You don't have to phone first next time. You can come by all personal if you'd like.
I can.
I don't know why I act so mean. I should have remembered all the times you've been nice to me.
I ain't forgot. Not for a minute.
Oh, no, Mac, I don't think you'd better.
I was just going to give you a kiss from Mom. She said this morning, when you see that sweet little girl, give her a kiss for me.
Mac, I don't want that you should do that.
You mean, I gotta go back and say you refuse a kiss she sent you? Oh, that's gonna hurt her, Daisy. And she ain't been well.
All right. That's no way for a mother to kiss.
You made the old lady mighty happy.
Are you sure you knew what you were talking about, Mr. Alcott? I'm doing just like you said, but I'm getting kissed by the wrong man.
man and just finishing dinner. Come on in and watch our festivities.
I will spare myself the spectacle of watching an intelligent man act like an imbecile.
Oh, poor child, so much love pains me to watch. Oh, come on in and see the new dress she's wearing. Why, the minute that doctor man mentions the name of that Fifth Avenue store, well, up she goes. Buckety buckety.
I will see no virtue in her until she goes out of this house. Buckety buckety.
Don't you believe in marriage, sugar?
I agree with Disraeli. All women should be married, and no men.
Don't you like women?
Women were an afterthought of God. I see no reason why they should be a first consideration of mine.
What you got against us?
You have no sense of equity. You assume you're a man's physical inferior, financial equal, and cultural superior.
But sugar, you can't buy love.
Can't I? I owe it to Robert to oppose any support on your part and any weakness on his. I will show you the superiority of the intellect.
Now you listen to me, sugar, there ain't nothing wrong with frying a man's chicken.
Except the motive.
Because I can't cook an egg. But then again, Southern ladies never cook anyhow.
Hello? Mac? Where have you been? I've been trying for weeks to get you on the phone. Oh, hold on. Hello? Mac? What about my last bet? Gee, Mac, that's $900 I've lost already. No, I can't lose anymore. I never intended to lose this much. No, you can't come over. It's no use. All right, I'm going to hang up now. Goodbye. Gee, $900. What am I gonna do?
You will continue in this fraud until you are hopelessly entangled. Knavery demands the highest type of intelligence, my girl, which doubtless accounts for the preponderance of honesty in this world.
May I bring our coffee in here?
Sure, I was gonna suggest it.
Anything wrong? You seem worried.
Oh no, I was just thinking, now that dinner's over, you'd best be getting back to the hospital.
No, not immediately. I do have to finish my paper on antibiotics, but an hour will make a difference.
You can say an hour?
If you let me.
Would you like an apple?
After all that wonderful food?
Maybe later.
Think we'll get some love making tonight?
It's the first time he's staying.
Then I'm staying too.
Now, Daisy, there is something that I've been meaning to ask you.
Well, I don't know until you ask.
Do you mind if I come back here around midnight?
That's the kind of man I like. Right to the point.
You see, before he died, Milo asked me to come here the first Friday of every month at midnight to contact him.
You mean talk to him?
Does that make you nervous, Daisy?
It was Milo idea, and
Well, you don't think he'll come back, do you?
I don't think he ever left.
So you think that there are ghosts in here right now?
It's a veritable beehive.
No, not his ghost, but his influence. What he stood for.
Gee, for a second there I thought you believed in ghosts.
We live in a dead man's world. The laws that govern our lives, the books that color our thinking, the cities that we live in, and the buildings that we inhabit were all founded by dead men. There isn't a single moment of every day that we aren't influenced by the dead. But that's all that continues after death.
More fool you.
Then why try to talk to him?
Well, I promised Milo I would. And I had to humor him. Poor old devil.
Did you? Indeed.
You really liked him, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Despite him being completely lacking in warmth and intolerant.
I consider it most unworthy of you, Robert, to malign me from the immunity of the living.
Did you know him long?
Since I was 8, my mother abandoned my father and I for a title in Europe. They would sit here and play chess while my father took care of him, and I would sit right there, in that corner.
Your mother deserted you? No wonder you never got married.
You're very quiet tonight.
I owe you a confession.
I doubt you would owe me a confession.
Well, I do, and it's been troubling me ever since I first knew you.
I'm sorry, would you feel better in telling me?
Yes, I would, because I want to be completely honest with you.
Beware, Robert. When a woman declares her honest intention, she intends to use honesty for dishonest purpose.
I couldn't imagine you being anything but honest with me.
Well, I haven't been. Do you remember that first day you called when I met you at the door with the book?
Very well. You said you were getting acquainted with Milo through his writings.
I wasn't reading that book. I said I was, but I wasn't.
Is that her confession?
I'm a little puzzled.
Well, you're so smart. I wanted you to think I was booky.
You were trying to impress me?
Well, sure. I didn't want you to think I was a dope before you even knew me. But since then, I've read 8, and that leaves 30 to go. I'll bet you know them all by heart.
Well, Daisy, I have a confession as well. I've only read 5, so I'm not as informed as you think I am.
Well, you certainly are not.
Oh, no. I don't know when I've ever met a brain I admire more. Why, when you come over here for dinner, I'm so flustered, I don't dare hardly speak a word.
But you're as bright as a penny, Daisy.
You should be struck by a thunderbolt for that.
No, I'm not. I don't know a thing about books. That's just the way I am. I'll tell you what. One time I got a free ticket to a radio show where they give you $10 to bet and then they ask you questions and I lost the $10 in 2 minutes.
Well, what kind of questions were there? Do you remember?
It is not necessary to reduce yourself to the level of her diminutive brain, Robert.
Well, one was the author of The Three Musketeers also wrote another famous book called The Count of what? And then you had to put in the right word.
Hold on. Think about this.
Do you know?
Can you repeat the question?
The Count of what?
What did you say?
I missed. I said The Count of 10.
What was the correct title?
Oh, come now, Robert. Sir Walter went as far as one could go into gallantry.
Would you be quiet? Some people would like to know the answer.
Imagine. You don't know either. It was The Count of Monte Cristo.
That's easily confused, Daisy.
Yes, you are proving that by the minute.
A person can't know everything. It doesn't mean I'm not smart. It just means I don't know.
I couldn't agree more.
But I bet I know some things that even professors don't know.
I'll just bet you do.
Like, for instance, what's inchusa myosoptita flora?
I haven't the slightest idea.
It's forget-me-nots. I memorized it off a packet of seeds at the 5 of 10.
You have a truly inquisitive mind, Daisy. Don't worry about not being smart. You are.
You're nice. You make me feel good.
Looks like we are gonna get some love making after all.
Still my heart.
You will be disappointed. I know Robert better than you.
What is she doing? Why doesn't she start?
You don't understand, sugar. He's a gentleman, and there's a proper way to do this. They got to exchange signals first.
Otherwise, it would be too crude.
Well, who sends the first signal?
Well, the lady, of course. She has to touch him all accidental-like, so he'll suddenly become conscious she's a woman.
He's been unconscious this whole time. Now where is she going?
Wandering. A girl's got to wander to show that she's restless and fidgety.
She's going to need a 10-foot pole to touch him from here.
She has to think of an excuse first.
She's working on an idea to bring her back now. You watch.
Do you wear glasses?
Only to read it. I started wearing them when I found myself backing out of a telephone booth to dial.
You want to know how I know?
How?
You've got a little wrinkle right there.
Hallelujah! She touched him!
Now he knows that she is a woman?
He knows that she's sweet and desirable.
Robert, get up off your gluteus maximus and get back to your antibiotics before this goes any further.
There goes a song for love me.
This is the most revolting procedure I have ever witnessed.
You don't have to stay.
Wild horses couldn't drag me away.
Robert, what are you thinking of?
Don't you know?
Oh, at first they both got to pretend like the last thing in the world they're thinking about is exactly what they're thinking about.
Why pretend?
It's civilized.
It's genteel and proper. She's gotta act like she ain't got the faintest idea that his arm's twitching back there.
Why doesn't she say something?
She's doing her best to think of something. Wait.
Penny for your pocket.
You see, Robert, she is the kind of girl who will never allow you a moment of privacy, even in your own thoughts.
I'm just thinking about something Milo once said.
What?
He said...
I said no man who ever changed the world was ever changed by a woman.
Well, what did he say?
Funny, I can't remember.
I got this very far. Now what?
Next, he must take her hand.
It is right there.
Pick it up. That way there's no romance, no music.
No action.
Oh, I reckon I better hail. Sugar, notice that ring on the finger. You've seen it before, but notice it again.
It's a very attractive ring. Where did you get it?
The Immaculate Conception Church at Bingo.
Now hold it up for him to see, sugar, so he can take your little white hand.
What is it, a zircon?
I don't know. It rubs off green.
By now, a couple of Ramapos would be in a wigwam.
It must be an alloy.
Now, don't let go. Now you got it. Find a reason to hang on.
Tell her how soft and lovely her skin is.
You have a very odd bone structure.
Put that name down, Robert.
I bet you know a lot about bones.
It is a doctor's business.
Then tend to your business. A hand is nothing but 27 bones in a capillary system under a subcutaneous layer of fat.
It is the morning mist in the meadows. It is the still moment before dawn. It is the miracle of the soul.
Where are we?
Take her in your arms before the moment is lost.
Take her in your arms and you lose honor, dignity, and hope of redemption.
Oh, lay your head back, sugar, so he won't get a crick in his neck when he kisses you.
He is going to kiss her.
Where is my tomahawk?
I really must be going now.
Why?
I have to finish my paper on antibiotics.
You better finish what you started.
It can, but I'd rather finish it tonight.
Are you mad or anything?
No, Daisy, not at all. Thank you for dinner. Goodbye.
What just happened?
He's still patting himself. He's a powerful, strong man.
You see, I won. I told you I did. And now it is the triumph of the intellect.
We'll see. There'll be another time.
You know what you are, sugar? You're anti-liberal.
You haven't the faintest idea what liberalism is. You are a lovely marble jar filled with poisoned honey. And might I add that the South, the Indians and I would profit more with less of your help.
You listen to me, mister. I've been reading your books. You said some terrible nasty lies in your books about the South that we was just old, prejudiced, backward, uncivilized. Well, I'll tell you, sugar, I just wish you'd come on down to the South. We'd show ya. We'd shoot ya.
Well, Daisy, why don't you concede defeat? Pack your ill-gotten possessions and go back to that world in which you belong.
Nobody's told me what happened yet.
Spare yourself a second projection, Daisy. Leave before Robert comes back.
Hello, Daisy.
Mac, what are you doing coming in through the window that way?
Well, I tried to tell you before you hanged up on me.
Is something wrong?
The bottoms have fell out of everything for me, Daisy. Can I come in and tell you about it? It'll have a body talk. Just a little while.
All right, I guess.
Come in, by all means. Come in and take this girl away with you. You belong together, like Flotsam and Jetsam.
What is Flotsam and Jetsam?
Have you ever read a poem called The Night Before Christmas?
I only read omens.
Well, Flotsam and Jetsam are the names of the first 2 reindeer.
I tried for 2 weeks to get him on the phone.
My old lady's been in the hospital. I've stayed with her night and day.
What's wrong with her?
Art, I've almost been out of my mind. I thought a Bainwell could cheer me up. You could.
Gee, Mac, I'm sorry. What does the doctor say?
Overweight. If she wants to live, she's got to lose about 100 pounds. No more beer, no more candy. Nothing that makes life worth living for her.
I don't think he's really got a mother.
My papa, Mr. Alcott, he was an invalid all his life.
Would you mind not putting me in the same pigeonhole with this hippopotamus of a mother?
Well, I feel better already. And Daisy, I just want to tell you, I'm sorry about losing your money in the last 3 bets.
It's all right, Mac. Only I've got to stop now.
That's another reason why I came over. I got a hot tip. You can win everything back by betting $1,000. An old Dixie girl.
Oh, if she's from Dixie, she's a thoroughbred.
I've decided I'm through gambling, Mac.
But this is for sure.
I can't lose anymore. I'm done.
Guess when you got so much dough, make 'em all's no fun. All right, Daisy. It's funny what being around you does for me. I'm perfectly happy just looking at you.
You better cross your arms. He's looking for a chance to jump you.
No, Mac, you gotta act like a gentleman now. I can't go on letting you kiss me to keep your mother happy.
I'm in love with you, princess. I never knew what real love was before. All my life I've been a cynic.
You've been a fool if you think you've been a cynic, but fool or cynic, take him, Daisy. He's your last chance.
Mac, you've got to stop now. Now, we can't ever be more than just good friends, and I'll tell you why. I'm in love myself with someone else.
You fell for that doctor.
I couldn't help it. I took one look at him and I was gone. I don't even think I've touched earth yet.
You don't know what you've done with me, Daisy. You're giving me the final kick in the face that broke the camel's back.
I never meant to.
Don't give up so easily. Play on her sympathies. Persist and you'll win out.
I didn't want to tell you this. I don't want to make you feel sorry. But on top of my old lady getting sick, I got a little subpoena out for my arrest. I ask, what more can happen to me?
Get on your knees. Make her feel superior.
Have you done something bad?
Absolutely nothing. But I gotta get out of town before they catch me.
Now, be a little boy who needs his mother. Then when she mothers you, be a man.
I was hoping when I came back, you'd be waiting for me. Now there's nothing to come back to.
Gee, Mac, I could cry.
You're doing splendidly. Pursue your advantage.
Daisy, I want to ask a favor, but no, I feel embarrassed just asking.
You want me to kiss you goodbye?
I was hoping if you could lend me some dough. I need some money to get out of town with.
Your soul is nothing but an empty wallet.
Of course, Mac. I'll give you all I got. I got $13. But you better only take 12. 13's unlucky.
Give him 13.
Well, that won't get me from here to Yonkers. I was hoping you could lend me $1,000.
$1,000? Mac, I haven't got that much.
Well, you're the heiress, aren't you?
That's a good question. Pursue the point.
No. I mean, yes. I mean, I can't get it.
It never fails. Someone's got a lot of money. Suddenly, someone's got a short memory.
Mac, I'd like to help you. I just can't.
Of course, I would have enough dough if I hadn't used it going to Mexico for your sake.
Mac, I can't get you the money, and I'll tell you why.
Tell him, Daisy. Tell him. He's dishonest. He'll understand.
Well, I'm waiting.
I can't give you the money because the money isn't mine, the house isn't mine, I've been living a lie.
There! You hear that? To think I should owe my vindication to a cheap racketeer.
I can't believe my ears.
Did I hear you right? Did you say this house isn't yours?
That is what I heard.
It belonged to Milo Alcott. I claimed I was his daughter, and they believed me.
I rest my case.
Sir, I'm very sorry. We owe you an apology.
Spare me your apologies.
Would you like to smoke a peace pipe?
I do not. Now that you've explained, Daisy, why don't you go with him? He'll cherish and protect you.
Well, what do you know?
So you see, Mac, I'm in as much trouble as you are. I only give you the money to bet so I can pay back some of what I took, but now I'm in so deep I'm nearly crazy. I'm in love and I wish I were dead.
Well, what do you know?
Dr. Dorsey's gonna be back any minute. You gotta get out.
Why? We met.
I couldn't explain it to him.
You know, Daisy, I've been thinking, why should I go hide out of town when you got a big empty house here?
Oh, no, you don't. I will not tolerate you staying here, too.
Mac, you can't stay here.
Why not? No one would ever think of looking for me here.
Mac, you've gotta get out right now.
Want to call a cop? You've been taking money under false pretenses. We could get handcuffs together.
Stop eating my apples.
Get out of my house!
You get out of my house.
Now, whose house did you send?
Don't you think folks would get out when they ain't wanted?
Wouldn't you? Indeed. Well, what about you?
$1,000 and I'll get out.
And what is your price to get out?
Mac, if I had $1,000, I'd give it to you, honest.
You can get it.
No, I can't. Now, Dr. Dorsey's gonna be back soon. Please go.
You know, Daisy, me and this Milo Alcott, we have a lot in common. Just say, him and me, we're both philosophers.
That sets philosophy back a millennium.
Take, for instance, this. Man would have remained an amoeba.
What is an amoeba?
That's a bug. Man would have remained an amoeba if nature had imposed morality. Fortunately, for the purposes of evolution, compromise, and opportunism, we were left unhampered by moral structure. Now let me explain that, Daisy.
Explain how I'm going to explain to Bob.
All the old goat is trying to say is get out while the getting's good.
Ain't you ashamed to be writing advice like that in a book?
Obviously, my hell is to be misinterpreted.
So you see, Daisy, if I want to be something better than a bug, I need to take opportunities. Like it says here. That is why I'm asking for $1,000.
Well, I won't get it for you.
Alright, I'll stick around and tell Doc the whole story myself.
Mac, you wouldn't.
He's not gonna like to find you've made a sucker out of him.
Mac, please don't.
And the papers, they ain't gonna believe this daughter story. If he's as respectable as you say, they'll give me $1,000 just to keep still about him giving a girl here.
He won't give you anything.
I think different. I think he's got a yen for you.
He can't stand me. He as good as told me he wouldn't wipe his feet on me.
He can wipe his feet all over me.
You know, Daisy, I'm glad you told me about that money not being yours. Makes me feel better about it. Though you gave me the bet.
I'll bet you never bet it, did you?
You would have lost it anyhow. The way I looked at it, the horse I was would have bet I lost. So you got no kick coming.
I just hate you.
He's a real Yankee stinker.
$1,000 will get rid of me.
He's gone too far. He's of no more use to me.
Mac, please get out right now. In another minute, it's gonna be 19 minutes to 12.
Just stop being a damn fool. Get off your duff and get the dough. All you gotta do is ask for it.
If I try to get the money, do you promise not to hurt me or Bob or ask for any more?
On my word as a gentleman.
All right.
Don't do it, Daisy.
You'll be sorry, sugar.
All right. I'll do it. I'll get the money.
When will you get it?
When Dr. Dorsey comes back, I'll tell him it's an emergency, that I need $1,000 for an operation.
Better not, sugar. He'll want to operate.
That won't do. I decided I needed 5.
You never said 5. You said 1. I heard you.
If you could get 1, you can get 5.
I couldn't pay back $5,000 in 5,000 years.
Keep arguing, I'm gonna make it 6.
All right, I'll try, but you gotta get out right now.
I ain't going no place without my dough.
Well, you can't stay in here. You wouldn't like it.
All right, I'll go wash my hands.
The maid's room next to the kitchen, and hurry, it's almost 17 minutes to 12.
All right, Daisy. Now listen, I'm a good friend when you're on my side. Just don't change sides. If you do, I'll make you sorry, Daisy girl. Remember.
Oh, she sure got herself in a mess of trouble now.
I warned her failure would be its own hangman.
I sure wish I could help.
Good, she's going to shoot it.
Unfortunately, the gun isn't loaded.
That's just the kind that kills somebody.
I took the bullets out myself and disposed of them.
She's going to run away instead.
And leave a letter. If there's one thing I admire to read, it's a love letter.
Well, there is no respect for privacy in either world.
What does it say, sugar?
Oh, it's beautiful. It says, dearly beloved Bob, I love you, I love you, I love you.
You don't have time to write a letter. Send a smoke signal.
I don't want to hurt you, so I'm going to run away and jump in a river.
Not again.
Does she mean it?
She declares she do.
The last time she jumped in the river, she landed in jail.
Oh, well. If she did drown herself, sugar, it's sure going to be your fault.
And in the world of the spirit, whoever takes a life is forever responsible for it.
What do you mean?
Oh, you wait and see, sugar. Daisy will be back here in no time. Dripping wet and ready to haunt you for the rest of your miserable eternity.
And if she dies, I will have responsibility for her for eternity?
Sure will. It's too late to go back and change things now, sugar. Your influence didn't die when you did.
Daisy and Bob are trying to live by the philosophy that you left them.
And when you're alive, you can always get out of your responsibilities by dying, but once you're dead, you got no place to get.
Where did I go wrong? I weighed all the facts. I took every possible precaution to ensure my eternal peace of mind. Where did my intellect fail me?
Sugar, you only made one mistake, and you never used your heart.
And it has its obligations too.
Now what can I do? The dead impose their presence and the living impose their problems.
Did you ever stop fiction? If Daisy landed that document, he'd take her away from here and you could live happily ever after.
I'd still have to live with you.
That's no way to talk to a southern lady.
Just a moment. Come here. You two. Come. You all are convinced that Robert's happiness is contingent upon this girl.
You sure are.
And you believe convictions are worth sacrifice.
Always.
Then I'll propose a bargain. If I reserve final judgment and do everything in my power to promote this union, will you all take the next wind out of here and leave me to my blessed solitude?
We never find another home.
It's a dirty mohawk trick.
The point is, do you agree?
But where could we go?
There's an old chicken coop up at Lost Lake we can haunt. They ain't got no chickens, plus they ain't got no piano either.
Will you agree, Minnie?
I'll move with the tribe.
Then I consider you committed.
What's she gonna do? Burn the letter?
Put it in the bookshelf?
She's going to leave it under your totem.
If you want to get rid of us, you better stop Daisy from leaving!
Daisy, what I told you still applies. What could be wrong for me could conceivably be quite right for Robert. I believe I'm being consistent on that point.
Sugar, what? Don't listen to logic!
But logic is all I know.
You're paddling up the wrong stream.
Daisy, wait!
He stopped her.
The doctor man at the door stopped her.
I claim full credit. After all, he is here on appointment with me.
What are you going to do about the pale skin washing his hands in the maid's room?
My God, I forgot about him. Daisy, let Robert go away for the present. I need to deal with that Amita washing his hands in the restroom first. You see how she responds to my influence? Robert, go back. I am not ready for you yet.
Daisy, dear, I rang but you didn't answer. I've been walking around thinking about you. Daisy, what's going on?
Please, just go away as quick as you can. Please, go away.
You've been crying. What's going on?
Please don't ask any questions and go away.
That's Milo's gun. What are you doing with it?
There is an owl in the attic. I told her to shoot it.
Please, just go away as quick as you can and don't ask any more questions.
I'm not leaving you like this. Now tell me what this is all about.
Maybe I better tell you.
Oh, no you don't, sir. Get back there. Do you hear me? Get back.
You promised to stay in the maid's room.
And you promised to get me that dough.
Daisy, what's he doing here?
Like to tell him, Daisy? Or would you like me to?
Well,
I'm not who I said I was.
How do you mean?
I'm not the daughter of Milo Alcott. I'm no more the daughter of Milo Alcott than that statue. I lied. I made up everything.
But Milo wrote in his own inscription that you, Daisy, Wisteria, were his own daughter.
He said he had 38 children, all books.
Was he part of this scheme?
No. He found out and only asked me to get him more money.
You've been giving him money?
900 so far.
I only give it to him to bet so I could pay back some of what I took.
You believe that, Doc?
Honest, Bob.
Honor among thieves.
Please don't call me a thief, Bob.
Well, that's what it amounts to, doesn't it?
I am amazed at the lack of compassion in a man of intelligence.
What do you hope to gain from exposing Daisy? All you've done is implicated yourself.
I don't think you're going to bring charges against either of us.
What makes you so sure of that?
Well, you wouldn't want to send Daisy here to prison, would you?
It's not up to me.
I think it is. Of course, I don't see how you can without getting pretty implicated yourself.
Will you please explain that?
Who's going to believe you when you say you thought Daisy was the old buzzer's daughter?
Mind your manners, you wretched character.
The papers will crucify you, Doc.
You two are a lovely pair.
The police are after him with a subpoena. He came to ask for money, and I had to explain to him why I couldn't give it to him.
How much do you want?
10,000.
You crazy!
10,000 to keep her out of prison and you out of the paper.
And all of you out of my house. It's cheap. Write a check.
Bob, please don't. I offered him $12 and he's got you up to 10,000. Bob, if you sign anything, he'll blackmail you.
You're gonna have to cash this yourself. Somehow.
Thanks, Doc. I got connections. Hold on. This is on for a grand.
That is as much as I'm willing to pay.
Well, I'm willing, Doc.
If you don't want it, tear it up.
You trying to bluff me? What you gonna do now?
What I should have done in the first place.
I don't bluff easy, Doc. You don't scare me.
Do me.
Please be careful, Bob.
Give me the police.
You ain't calling no cops. Put that receiver down. I ain't fooling.
It's quite all right. The revolver isn't loaded. She knows it.
If you want to shoot him, you gotta shoot me at the same time.
Daisy, get out of my way.
Oh, it takes me right back to my wedding day. I threw myself in front of my sugar and I said, Robert Lee Maxwell, you's a southern gentleman, you'll shoot me first. And he did.
Go ahead and shoot a woman, you dirty coward. Go ahead.
This is Dr. Robert Dorsey at 3800 Terrace.
Go ahead, you dirty, dirty coward, and shoot a woman.
Get out of here, you poor white trash.
Why did you risk your life for me?
He didn't ask if the gun was loaded, Daisy, so don't answer what he didn't ask. Now's not the time to embrace honesty.
You could have been killed.
That's quite true. You might have been killed at any point since the moment you were born. We don't have to be specific here. So agree with him.
The gun wasn't loaded.
That's the trouble with innate honesty. You simply cannot trust it.
So you weren't trying to save me.
Well, I was acting. I like to act. I was going to be an actress. I was acting.
Why did you misrepresent yourself this whole time?
Because I advised her to. I thought her capable of rationalizing a code of ethics suitable to her needs. I realized that only God, the Jesuits, and I could justify any given premise.
Well,
Oh, I don't know. I guess I wanted a new dress.
that's the equivalent of stealing one.
No, I intended to pay you back, and I'm going to. I'm going back to work at the fountain, and you'll get $6 a month every month until we're square.
That should clear you to about the age of 7.
I don't care if it should take 100 years, Bob.
That still doesn't change the fact that you're guilty of theft. And theft of the most contemptible kind. Robbery of the dead.
Not at all. It's the most considerate kind.
I should have listened to Milo's advice. He was right.
You've a mind of your own.
But no. I ignored Milo. And I didn't listen to my father's experience. I should have remembered that none of you can be trusted.
Diogenes looked for an honest man, not an honest woman.
All right. I'm not as perfect as you. Now please just leave me alone.
I intend to. Be sure that you're gone by noon, or
I'll,
else I'm gonna have to contact Milo's lawyers.
I'll get out and you'll have your money.
That is relatively unimportant. Just be sure that you're gone by noon.
I'll get out. How many times do I have to say it? I'll get out.
Daisy, you'll have to realize that Robert isn't vindictive. He's just angry and hurt. Robert, use your intelligence. This girl is perfect for you. She'll bring that loveliest of all gifts to marriage. An empty mind. Men can be the damnedest woman.
Almost like it on bed if you give him a chance. Why don't you faint, sugar? That'll stop him.
Take off all your clothes. That will stop.
No, Daisy. Just be honest with him.
Tell him that you love him. Don't lose the moment.
Tell him you adore him. Tell him you love his head and his nose and his eyes and his mouth. Don't tell him, Daisy.
Now see here, my girl. You're sacrificing your own self-interest for your petty pride. Do as I say. We both have a lot at stake here. Now look at him in the eyes and tell him simply and honestly that you love him.
What do you wear black ties for? You look like a funeral director.
And just what color would you prefer?
Be feminine. Tell him blue to match his eyes.
Red. Haven't you got a red tie?
I haven't worn a red tie in my whole life.
Something wrong with red?
No, it's just a bad taste.
Who says?
It's a consensus of opinion.
Well, nobody asked my opinion.
Well, nobody's found fault in my ties.
Well, high time. That's all I've got to say is high time.
What's the matter now? Well, you have plenty of apples.
Why can't you just go without doing this to me? You big me don't.
Obviously, he has passed the infallible apple test.
I don't understand you. I'm going home.
Fine. You can just go. Nothing's going to refrain you. In fact, I don't even want to see McLean win.
Robert, wait.
It's time for the miracle.
Why, it's quite simple now. I shall explain my change of attitude and advise him on the wisdom of compromise through my code words. Lo and behold! Lo and behold! Lo and behold!
Oh,